These are brakes. They're going on the car. Dusty, man.
Yeah. Welcome to the shop.
We are doing the performance pack brakes on a non-performance pack Mustang GT 18 to 22.
Yep.
I think.
S550. Yeah.
Yeah. It has 4-pot brakes on it right now. These are 6 piston. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the back. More is better. I don't know what else to say. Bigger rotors, bigger pads, more pistons, better fluid, braided stainless and coated. I believe they're braided stainless. I assume they're braided stainless.
Yep.
Brake lines.
Can you explain why it's important to upgrade lines?
You upgrade lines. I don't know what the stock Mustang GTs have on them, but you want a stronger line, as strong a line as you can get, because with the big brakes, you're going to have a lot of a lot of line pressure, so the hydraulic fluid will, be creating a lot of pressure on these lines. And like old rubber lines, especially old ones, they could actually balloon when you step on the brake, and just leads to an uneasy feel. You lose your pedal pressure. Any give in the system is not going to the pistons and giving you braking force, clamping force, so you don't want to do that. Same reason you go to a higher rated brake fluid. Brake fluid becomes hygroscopic as it breaks down. It absorbs water. We talked about this in the last video. Water evaporates when it gets hot, creates a pocket, creates a spongy pedal. All bad stuff. So all good stuff is going on. This car has less than 10,000 miles on it.
Like 5,000 miles. It's not very much at all. So.
But it is, at this point, it's really just purely autocross car. So we're just doing autocross things to it.
Cool. And like Dan said, this is very similar to our brake job video we did on the S197 out there. So, but this is just a front brake job. We're not going to mess with the rear brakes on this vehicle. So you can buy kits for that, but this didn't come with it. So
we actually will be wrestling with them, because we're gonna flush the brake fluid.
Oh right. So when you at least open them up.
Yeah, we'll end up doing that anyways, even though we're not changing the pads or the rotors or the piston or the calipers on the back. But we are doing a fluid flush just to get this good fluid in there.
Cool.
Oh, this kit, minus the brake lines and the brake fluid, American Muscle.
Yes,
it's a kit.
It's all in one kit. So that'll come with.
Does it include these?
It does not include the lines, but it'll include the new calipers that come with the pads installed, and then the new rotors.
Do we know what pads they are?
I don't know what pads they are, but I'll link the kit online, and it'll list out everything that's included in it. So I'm sure they're just middle of the line. They probably aren't as good as like a Hawk pad or something similar you can get for autocross or track, but they'll be fine for now.
Okay.
Cool.
Turn traction control off. I've accidentally done them when I'm trying to leave.
Okay, we just removed all 4 wheels and tires, and now Dan is just pulling out the old brake fluid. And you can see, since this car only has like 5,500 miles on it, it looks almost brand new. So it's kind of a shame we're putting it to waste, but it'll be good to just upgrade to the more aggressive fluid. So. Getting there. What's your need?
I think a 13, and then a wrench that is a 11, and a wrench that's a 13.
Okay.
Okay. I'm gonna walk this through with you. You tell me what you think.
Okay.
So we'll do this last because this is just a positioning bracket. Should we disconnect this, let it start draining down into there, connect it to the brake, and then connect it up here?
I think that makes sense. I got 2 birds, 1 stone.
Okay. I'm gonna break this loose.
Okay.
Okay, so we're gonna swap this rear brake line. We went and looked at it, and it actually is just a rubber line on the car right now. So we have this line that we're gonna put in. We wanna flush the fluid, so I'm gonna go ahead and break loose the caliper connection first and let this drip down into here for a little bit. I'll hook the new one up to the caliper connection, and then we'll go up and deal with the connection at the hard line last. And then we'll flush the whole line after that as well to get the air out of it. This top mount, so the bottom mount is a banjo bolt. It goes into the caliper down there. The top mount has this clip that actually locks it in to a bracket mounted on the car. So first I took a wrench and I broke that nut loose so that I don't need to have that attached anymore. And then I'll be able to unscrew that by hand the rest of the way. You can see it's already started to leak. I'm gonna screw that back in a bit. Don't want to lose that. So I'm gonna break this loose. We'll need to thoroughly clean everything because brake fluid is highly corrosive. We'll need a new washer to go in this. Although I don't see it. Oh yeah, it's in there. Yeah, that washer is really crushed on there. We'll have to see if we can get that off.
So Dan's starting to connect the new stainless steel brake line.
Oh, I was trying to mount it. There we go.
Yeah, but that one. That's pretty shit. Old fella is one off.
Okay, after a bit of troubleshooting, Dan got the first brake line. We're at the passenger rear here, so you can see this new stainless steel brake line here. So I'm just gonna clean it with some brake cleaner. And for anyone that doesn't really know the anatomy of a brake line, you can see this line here. That's coming from the reservoir that you saw us empty earlier. So it pumps into here, into this new brake line down, and then this will flow into the actual caliper itself. So it's all about hydraulics. So we had a little bit of difficulty. You'll see Dan testing that connection right there. It's been leaking a little bit for us, but I think we got it tight enough now that, fingers crossed, it won't give us any trouble. So
Bleed it.
Bleed it? All right. Okay, so the passenger rear brake is done. So we replaced the brake lines, so the fluid flushing. I'm not really going to show too much of the actual fluid flushing process since we covered that pretty extensively in the last video. So if you want to learn more about that or what it takes, feel free to go watch that one. But so I'll probably just be time lapsing through that stuff. So we're going to go ahead and do the driver rear now, which Dan's already starting on for the line, and then we'll move to the front. And then once we start doing the actual caliper job, which is the stuff we showed you earlier in the video, all that good stuff right there, we'll go into a little more detail. But we're gonna get at it and start these time lapses. So.
Okay, we already did the passenger side, now we're going to do the driver's side, but we're going to show you what we did. We're going to remove this caliper, remove this rotor, and this brake line, and then put all new pieces on. Right now I just loosened all the connections for the brake line so that I can get that undone when it's off the car. So this new kit came with a small shield that goes down here, and we compared it to this existing shield, and it basically just hangs down like a 1/4 inch lower here and here, and then none of this has a dust cover if you take that off. So we're just not using that on here. We'll see if that makes a difference or not. We're using 2 lug nuts to hold this rotor straight on the hub so we can slide the new caliper on. Make sure you follow manufacturer's recommendations for torque specs. We have this finely tuned torque bar.
Patent pending.
Okay, now we're going to swap the line and bleed it. new line. Make sure you remove the old copper washer. One on each side of the block for the banjo bolt.
What's the difference between a regular bolt and a banjo bolt?
The name?
Oh, really?
No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah. This will be.
Here is what I know about it, which is to say not much. This is a regular bolt, except that it has a hole. I don't know, you'll have to tell me if this picks up on the camera. There's a hole drilled in the bottom of that bolt.
Yep.
And then on the shank of the bolt on this side, and it creates a passageway for fluid.
That's not really want to pick up on the camera, but there's a hole there on the side, kind of, but okay. Interesting.
All right, so the banjo bolt allows the fluid to pass through the line, through the block, into the hole on the shank of the bolt, and then out the center bore of the bolt and into the caliper. And that's how you can attach this block to the caliper and still have fluid flow through it. And then it uses the copper washers on both sides of the block to seal it so that it doesn't leak.
They should have called it a boomerang bolt.
Should they?
This stuff goes in there and then back out. No?
Noted.
I'll write a letter.
I don't know who you write a letter to, but do it. And this block only mounts on one way. So I just gotta figure out which way it mounts, and I think I've got it on there wrong. So I'm gonna turn the block around. So it eventually goes up. Cool. Eventually goes up that way. I probably want it. Like so. Sterling stuff. Okay. Old brake line out.
Sweet. New brake line in. So when we first started this job tonight, we filled up the brake reservoir with this new brake fluid, but through every wheel and brake job, these lines have just been slowly bleeding it, so we've just been like slowly refilling it as we go. Oh, sorry. leaking. Sweet.
Nope, let's just bleed it. Reservoir's full.
They could have used a little more. I'm gonna go grab an additional bottle of fluid.
On our last one now.
Okay, so like Dan said, we're just gonna bleed this one. We've already seen that in another video, so we're gonna just time lapse this real quick. When you see you in a sec. Job done. Dan, we installed that last one, put it to the line, bled it, filled the reservoir. We're good to go. So, overall, this is by far not the worst project we've done. So I'm pretty proud of us. So we'll get the car, I'll put it back together, and then we'll go out and bed the brakes. And I kind of talked about that in the last video. I couldn't really find any good information on what type of pads came with this. You could probably just look on the link in American Muscle. So we're just gonna do the same bedding procedure we did for our Hawk pads or something similar. We did 2 or 3 stops from a moderate speed from like 30 to 35, almost down to complete stop. Then did like 40 to 45 miles per hour, did 60 plus miles per hour. And then we did a couple of race speeds. So we got almost 200 miles an hour and then hit the brakes hard all the way down close to a full stop. And then we drove around for a bit, let the brakes cool, and you're good to go. So, if you stayed around for this video, thank you. Say thanks, Dan.
Thanks. Hey, beat the merch.
Oh yeah, we got hats. I don't know if you can see that, but it's got our new logo on there. We've also got some pretty sick shirts coming. So we'll start linking those in the YouTube channel. So if anyone follows us or watches us enough and you want a hat or a shirt, or we got some like stickers and keychains and some other gadgets and gadgets. But yeah, holler and you can get some stuff for yourself. So thank you guys for watching. We've got a couple projects coming up in the future, I think. Well, I guess.
Well, on your car.
Yeah,
Cage.
yeah. Roll cage coming up for our car.
Battery relocation.
Kit, and then potentially some side splitters. We're a little hesitant on those because this car is up on the lift so much, and the side splitters are directly conflicting with where the lift attaches to the car. So TBD on that. But thanks for watching, and we'll catch you next time.